back to another edition of Running with James. Today we're going to give you our full review of the New Balance RC Elite V2. Now, if you're new to the channel, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that notification bell so you can hear about all things Running with James. That's right, we're going to be giving you our full review of this marathon racing shoe from New Balance. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I dig this shoe specifically because of this color. This color is fire, yo. Now, I know it's pink. They had this purple version that I thought was so cool. But then when I saw the pink one, I actually had the purple one on order from a particular company. I'm not going to call their name, Roadrunner, for like 6 months, okay? And I was so excited because I pre-ordered it because you know how a lot of these racing shoes, they sell out so quick. So I pre-ordered and I kept waiting, I kept waiting, I kept waiting. They said, oh, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. They didn't tell me the truth. I don't know what the deal was. But I went to New Balance and I saw they had this pink one and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna order the pink one because I like that even better. And it came in like 2 days. So sometimes ordering from the actual manufacturer does work out for you. So anyway, today guys, we're gonna break down the shoe, right? We're gonna talk about the upper, we're gonna get into the midsole, talk about the outsole, and everything in between. We'll talk about our likes, our dislikes, and by the end of this video, you'll know whether this is something you just gotta have or maybe something you should skip. All right guys, so as usual, we're gonna start with the upper of this shoe. Now the upper is basically a knit upper and like a lot of pretty much all the racing marathon racers out there, it's super thin, okay? So it's breathable. It actually has quite a few large holes that are kind of strategically placed across the forefoot of this shoe to give you a lot of breathability. So I found that, yes, you know, in Houston where we're running at, and actually where most of the runs I've done have been pretty much in the heat of the day, the humidity of the day, found the shoe to be pretty breathable. And it was only after I was pouring water non-stop over my head to cool myself down did it get soaked with water. But I found that it evaporated pretty quickly, did not have a lot of issues as far as heat with the upper of the shoe. Found the upper to be pretty comfortable, more than enough. Now it's New Balance, so they always usually have a lot of room in that toe box, so your toes can really splay, you don't get kind of bunched up. Now I will say usually in a racer, they do tend to be a little bit more fitted just because you don't want your foot sliding around in there. So I dug the fit of this shoe. I thought it was really well done. Very padded in the heel, so it didn't have any kind of heel slippage or anything like that. It's got this kind of flare out on the back of the heel to kind of make your Achilles a little more comfortable. No issues, but I wear a high sock, so usually that's not too big of an issue for me. I will say the tongue was not my favorite thing because it's unattached. You guys know, if you're going to make me happy, you need to have an attached tongue, but the tongue wasn't too horrible. It's super thin, it's not padded at all, but I didn't have any kind of rubbing or anything like that across the top. The only issue I would say, because it's not attached, is you really have to make sure you get that tongue right? So when you're tightening those laces up, the flat laces, you will have to kind of pull and adjust that tongue a little bit just so that you don't have any bunching. So other than that, that's the only downside. So I will say for me, I love the fit of the upper, was comfortable, was able to, I feel fast when I was running in this shoe, get a good lockdown once I did a little bit of adjusting on that tongue. So for us, I think the upper, good job guys. Now moving on to the midsole. Now, we all know when it comes to a racing shoe, it's all about that midsole, right? How bouncy is the foam? How responsive? How comfortable is this midsole? Now, this is the exact same Fuel Cell midsole that is in the Fuel Cell Rebel V2 that we reviewed just a few months ago that we really liked. We really liked the shoe. One of the things that I made a comment of with the Fuel Cell that it was super bouncy and it was super soft, okay? So sometimes, for me anyway, my personal opinion is if it's too soft, it's hard to race in it, it's hard to go super fast. So one of the comments I made is, hey, I was really excited about the RC Elite is because if they put in a little stiffening agent like a carbon fiber plate, it might make this shoe really amazing. And so in the RC Elite 2, they did that. They put a little carbon fiber plate. Can you hear that? Right here in the midsole of the shoe. The stack is 36 millimeters in the heel, and then we've got 28 millimeter stack height in the forefoot, giving us an 8 millimeter drop. You guys know, if you've watched any of my videos, I love that drop. That's like my favorite drop, whether it's a racing shoe or a daily trainer. So I really dig that drop. Now they put this carbon fiber plate in here that's really helped to stiffen the shoe up. You can tell, like I can't bend this thing, right? It really does give you kind of this propulsive feel. So with the Fuel Cell Rebel, it was very, very soft and cushiony. You have that same cushioning effect, but now with this carbon fiber plate, you really do have a great propulsion system. So I found that for me, I really did like the ride of this shoe. You've got a little bit of a rocker here in the front, so it kind of helps you through the gait cycle. So I've done long runs of up to 13 miles in the shoe. I have done speed work where I'm running 1K repeats up to around a 550 pace. So anywhere from 550 to like 640 were my paces. And it didn't matter whether it was faster, slower, it was very comfortable. It was nice, I liked it. The only downside that I have, and maybe this is more of an upper issue, but I waited to talk about it when we got to the midsole, is because the insert that is in here, it's really thin, right? It's not super padded or anything like that. But this insole, once you get moving, and especially up to the faster paces, after about 3 miles, what I started finding out or feeling was this sucker starts sliding out of the shoe, right? So maybe it's because maybe I kind of use this claw effect with my toes or whatever when I'm running, but I could feel this slipping out. And so at some of my breaks, I had to stop, slide that insert back in. Now that's kind of an easy fix, I guess. You can put some super glue in there, maybe put some double-sided tape, but it's kind of an annoying thing that we have to do that. So this has happened before in some of the other New Balances. Happened in the first Fuel Cell that I had. It happened in one of the older versions of their Tempo shoe, and it was really aggravating. So New Balance, I don't know what you guys can do to fix that. But that's something I think you definitely, I mean, you're paying $225 for a shoe. That's a lot of money for a shoe, for the insole to be sliding out on you when you're going at the higher paces. So easy fix, like I said, but something that does get a little bit aggravating. So, but overall, I did really dig the midsole of this shoe. It's bouncy, it's responsive, it's soft. Maybe a little softer than like the Nike, maybe not as responsive, but you can go fast and you can be comfortable. And I will tell you, when I'm done running this shoe, my legs are not gassed the next day. All right, guys, so now we're gonna talk about this outsole. Now, if you saw my video on our review that we did on the Adios Pro, I loved that shoe, but I hated the outsole. Usually outsoles are not a big deal. I love this outsole. The configuration is great. It's got a good amount of rubber, and it's got it where you need it on the forefoot, and then strategically placed on the heels as well, right? So if you're a heel striker, kind of protects this foam. This foam's really, really soft. And so if you can kind of see or if you're looking at it, you can kind of see on the exposed parts, it's kind of roughing up a little bit. So I have right around 60 miles in this shoe so far, most of which have been either long miles or fast miles. And so it's held up well. It grips well. I've ran in rain, I've ran on dry, I've ran in the track, I've ran on concrete, I've ran on a treadmill, even ran a little bit on the gravel. And no matter what it was, I felt pretty stable, whether I was taking corners. I didn't ever worry about slipping or anything like that. And like I said, it's held up really, really well. So I would say it's just the right amount of rubber, not too much, not too little, and it does what it's supposed to do. It grips the ground. Good job, New Balance. All right, guys, so what are our total thoughts? What do we feel about the New Balance RC Elite 2? Well, first of all, I think that probably the only downsides or the negatives about this shoe are gonna be that insert, about it sliding out. It's gonna be that tongue. Maybe a little bit about the weight. It's coming in right at, for my size 10.5, right about 8.5 ounces, 8.4 ounces. For a men's size 9, it's coming in about 7.6 ounces. And for a lady size 8, I think it was right around 6.5 ounces. So it's in the realm. It's not the lightest, but it's also not the heaviest, okay? And then the tongue, right? So the tongue is not attached, and so you kind of have a little bit of finagling you have to do. Other than that, I love this shoe. This shoe is legit. It's bouncy, it's comfortable. It fits right in the toe box. It's not super hot, it's very cool. And I'm gonna tell you, in Houston, it gets hot. The other day we were doing our speed work at 6 o'clock at night, okay? 6 o'clock in the evening, and it was 96 degrees with the 90% humidity. So we're sweating, we're drenched, and it's held up really, really well. I think you're gonna get a fairly good amount of mileage out of the shoe. Like I said, I've set them around 60 miles in the shoe, and this thing's still got plenty of life. We don't have a lot of compression in in the foams. The leather or the rubber on the outsole is looking great. So I think that even though it's a racing shoe, I think you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. So yes, $224 is expensive, but that's kind of right in that, it's in that price range, right? It's all the shoes are costing that, right? So the Nike one's like almost $300. So, you know, it's right in the realm. Not the most expensive, it's not the cheapest. So I think for what you're getting for this shoe, you can do long runs in this shoe. You can do easy runs in this shoe, right? So a lot of the marathon racers, when you go to slower paces, you know, you kind of feel awkward and weird. But I think with this shoe, kind of the way they've designed it, you can do short runs, long runs, fast runs. You can do easy runs, and so you're going to be able to do so many things, and it looks like it's going to hold up really, really well. So I think you're getting a good amount of running for what it is you're paying for the shoe. So for us, we're going to be real honest and real transparent. For us, this may be right now our favorite marathon racer of the year. So for us, it's definitely a must-have. All right, guys, that's it for our review of the New Balance RC Elite 2. Thanks for coming in. Remember, if you enjoyed the video, if you got something out of it, give us a thumbs up. And then always, you know, we want to comment. So the question of the day, what's the question of the day? What is your favorite marathon racing shoe right now? Is it the New Balance RC Elite? Is it something maybe we haven't tried before that maybe we need to go out and try? We just got the Adidas Adios Pro 2 in. So you knew that was my favorite one last year. So I don't know, maybe New Balance is gonna have some competition. That sucker, it looks fly. That's all I'm gonna say. It looks cool. I like the look of this one, but I dig the look of the other one too. So I don't know, they may have some competition, but we'll be putting the miles in on that one, so that's coming in. So what's your favorite racer right now? What's your go-to speed day shoe, getting ready for marathons or half marathons, whatever distance you're gonna be running? We wanna hear about it down in the comments below. Once again, guys, thanks for coming in, and remember, as always, when you change your mind, you change your life. See you next week.